WWE Super Showdown will be live from the Melbourne Cricket Ground in Melbourne, Australia. This is a 100,000 seat stadium. I doubt they'll be able to fill it, but maybe they do. It's the biggest WWE event ever in Australia, and they have a pretty underwhelming card to do it. It just feels like this is just going to be a glorified house show. I feel like they're going to go to Australia and they're going to go to Saudi Arabia every year and do these major stadium shows. And those countries never get WWE, so they're all excited to see anything. And WWE can just get away with putting on a house show, and they're just going to make more money. I don't know about this show, but in Saudi Arabia, they make more money there than they do for WrestleMania, and they're putting on house shows. So I just think WWE is in a position, these guys will take everything. We can just kind of coast on the show. There'll be a glorified house show. This card looks like a house show, not going to lie. With the exception of Undertaker, Triple H, it's a house show. It's a house show card, and I think that's how WWE is going to treat it. And I think the fans, it's not really for the fans watching at home. It's for the fans at the arena, at the stadium, and that giant stadium with these giant WrestleMania production value. It's for them to have a good time watching it, and for WWE to increase their presence in Australia and make them more big, more popular with that audience. And WWE is already very popular in Australia. That's really that's a great wrestling country. So with this card, it's going to start at, I believe, 5 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Eastern time, 2 a.m. Pacific. My time, like the show for me will start at 5, so I'm going to have to wake up probably at 4:30 to even get myself ready to watch wrestling. It's going to be a very long day. It's going to be 5 hours long. Man, I'm not looking forward to the show at all. It's kind of interesting watching a show in the morning, and they don't really get that. I think they had one show. I think it might have been a show in Japan a few years ago, Beast in the East, where I had to do that, but it is going to be a little weird watching a show so early in the morning. But again, as I said, this is more of a show for Australia and not for the live audience. I think for the pay-per-views, there's more focus on the live audience. But for a show like this, it's a house show that's on a major stadium. It's like, to explain this, it's a show that's a house show with WrestleMania production values. So let's go right into the card. You have the Cruiserweight Championship. I don't know if this will start, I don't even think there's going to be a pre-show, but I think this might start it because it's for the Cruiserweight title. You have Buddy Murphy challenging the Cruiserweight champion, Cedric Alexander. I think we see the Australian homeboy, Buddy Murphy, wins the Cruiserweight title. So Buddy Murphy, after this show, in my opinion, is going to have the Cruiserweight Championship on one arm, and on the other arm, he's going to have Alexa Bliss. Doesn't get much better. He's achieved great success in his professional career, and in his personal life, he has achieved maybe the greatest success a man can have in Alexa Bliss. So Buddy Murphy is going to be a very lucky man. I see him beating Cedric Alexander. I think Alexander, he's been champion since WrestleMania. He won the title at WrestleMania. It's been he's been champ for a while. He's done nothing for the brand. No one cares about 205 Live. Why not switch it up? I mean, I know it's the hometown. It's a heel in the hometown, so maybe because it's not a baby face, they might not beat him. But I'm not even sure. Is Buddy Murphy even a heel? I don't even watch 205 Live, but I'm going to say Buddy Murphy wins. There's no reason he shouldn't win. I think they're going to give it to him. I think he gets the win. He gets the big pop in the crowd, and the fans go nuts. So Buddy Murphy is my pick, and unfortunately, we don't get to see Alexa on the show. I don't think she'll be on. Maybe she is in some segment. We don't see her wrestling, even though she's on the poster. A whole bunch of wrestlers on the poster that are not going to even be on the show. You have a lot of names. Like you have Bray Wyatt not wrestling, Carmella not wrestling, Shinsuke Nakamura on the poster not wrestling. I don't think Randy Orton's wrestling. He might make an appearance. Bobby Roode's not wrestling. Sasha Banks is not wrestling. She's not even, I don't even know where the hell she is. You might have to put an Amber Alert for her. You have some pretty, Finn Balor, some pretty notable names who are on the poster not wrestling on the show. Maybe they're all going to be on some giant segment to get everyone on the show, maybe to get everyone a payday. All right, so next we have a women's tag match, one of two women's tag matches. You have Asuka and Naomi against the Hometown Girls, the IIconics, Billie, Kay, and Peyton Royce. All right, I'm going to give WWE the benefit of the doubt again. The fans are going to want the Aussies to win. These are their girls. I think they're going to get 2 for 2. WWE will probably give them 1 for 1. But I think Billie, Kane, Peyton, Royce are definitely going to be a bigger deal in Australia than Buddy Murphy for sure. I think they're going to be really over. And I think that they're going to get Asuka and Naomi pretty booed here. So I think Asuka and Naomi will probably work this match as heels. If this was me, I just have the IIconics win. And I think that's the best choice. They've ruined Asuka. They've destroyed her. Naomi, I think, I think she kind of had her run last year. I think she's just going to be in the mid-card for the rest of her career, basically. IIconics need this. They're going to create the women's tag team division soon. The women's tag belts are coming. They might be the first champs. They need to win this. I think Peyton Royce has a lot more potential than Billie Kay, but I don't mind Billie Kay either. I think they want to push them, and their run. They've been on the main roster for 6 months, and it's been a complete flop. It's been a complete disaster. It's been the only thing that's really helped them is when Dave Meltzer called Peyton Royce, fat or something. I think that got sympathy for Peyton, but other than that, I mean, their main roster run's been a total flop. I got them winning. I think they'll pin Naomi, but wouldn't shock me if they pinned Asuka with the way they book her. They could pin Asuka for more, to get a bigger reaction, but I think Naomi gets the win. I think Peyton Royce probably pins Naomi, so I'm going to go with the IIconics. So WWE, I'm counting on give these damn Australian fans what they want. Give them the IIconics and give them Buddy Murphy. That's what they want. I know it's WWE in the hometown on a pay-per-view. That never happens. I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt. I say both the hometown guy and the hometown girls win. So next, you have Bobby Lashley and John Cena against Elias and Kevin Owens. No talk here. Elias and Kevin Owens had an awesome part of Raw. They were the best part. They got just massive heat, but they're losing here. John Cena, Bobby Lashley win. There's not much to say here. Cena and Lashley win cleanly. I think this probably opens the show. John Cena has just been phoning it in the last 2 years, and I expect that to continue. Boring. Cena just comes here, give me my paycheck, and then he just off back to China to shoot his movie. So that's all I have to say. Cena and Lashley win easily. So you have Ronda Rousey with the Bella Twins against the Riott Squad. So I think Brie Bella's probably going to get booed here. The Riott Squad, I mean, it'll be interesting if they have... it would be funny if they had Liv Morgan pin Brie Bella, but that's not happening. No way. I don't see Ronda and the Bellas winning. I think it just built up the Riott Squad. They had them get a whole bunch of wins over, Sasha and Bayley. I think it was all just done to set them up to lose to Ronda and the Bellas. This is all going to set up Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella Evolution, the match nobody wants to see except a bunch of Total Divas who are completely flopping. I love seeing Total Divas flop. That's great. I think people hate Total Divas and they hate the Bellas, and I think there's a lot of hate, anger towards them right now. I think part of that was the reason Brie took so much heat for kicking Liv Morgan in the fucking face and knocking her out was because people really don't want to see the Bellas being pushed right now in 2018. These two reality actresses who the fans can't stand. I expect them to get booed pretty heavily here. Ronda Rousey in Australia. Ronda Rousey is a very emotional person. She might be a bit emotional coming up. Here in Australia, 3 years ago, in 2015, Ronda Rousey, what was she then? She was the UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion. She went into a main event in Australia in a stadium. She was headlining the show in a stadium. UFC barely ever. They don't do stadium shows. They had Ronda Rousey headline in a stadium defending her title against Holly Holm. And of course, that night, Ronda Rousey suffers her first MMA loss. She is knocked out with a vicious head kick by Holly Holm. The head kick heard around the world. Holm wins the UFC title, and Ronda Rousey, I don't think, has been the same person ever since. So it'll be interesting seeing her back in Australia. So I see Ronda Rousey probably beating Ruby Riott, maybe Sarah Logan. Ronda's going to get the victory. The Bellas and Ronda win. After the match, Bellas turn on Ronda. That's how I see it. I see Nikki, and especially, beating down Ronda. Nikki hits her stupid finisher on Ronda. She'll pose with the belt. She's I can't stand Nikki. Even though Brie fucked up, I hate Nikki way more than I hate Brie. I hate Nikki so much. I cannot stand her. Ronda gets the win, and Bellas turn on her after the match, and that sets up Ronda and Nikki Evolution, the match nobody wants to see, but I don't see. I just think the Riott Squad were built up to lose to these three. I don't know if Liv Morgan's cleared for sure. If she's not, you can just do Ronda and Nikki against Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan, and Ruby Riott. But I think she'll be cleared, and she probably won't do much in the ring. And please don't have her mess. Please keep Liv Morgan the hell away from Brie, please. But again, Rousey, her and the Bells win. So, number one contenders match, Daniel Bryan against The Miz. I got Daniel Bryan winning. I originally think The Miz was going to win. I got Daniel Bryan. They have to do something more with Daniel Bryan. He just lost to Shelton Benjamin. When I saw that, I thought, okay, for sure Daniel Bryan's winning. Unless they're just gonna, try to tell this long story, which they always tell stories. But I think Daniel Bryan has to win this. I can't see him losing. They've done too much. Miz has gone too much over him. He beat him at SummerSlam. Him and Maurice beat Daniel Bryan and Brie at the Hell in a Cell show. Daniel Bryan needs this victory. I think they'll set up him and AJ. I don't see The Miz winning. I really think they're going to go with Daniel Bryan. The way they set it up, I think he's going to beat The Miz here. And I think the feud will continue, but I think they'll go away from it for a while, and Daniel Bryan will get his title match against AJ Styles, maybe at the Royal Rumble. But I got Daniel Bryan winning. Next up is the piss break. The SmackDown Tag titles, New Day against The Bar. New Day have bored me to fucking tears. I am so sick of them. I want to see them split up. I want to see Big E just destroy Kofi and Xavier and go on a big run, because I'm bored with this pancake bullshit. It's like, I don't even want to watch it anymore. I'm so fucking sick of it. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to beat The Bar. The Bar, I don't care about The Bar whatsoever. They have go-away heat with me. I don't want to see him in the company much longer. I'm sick of Sheamus and I'm sick of Cesaro. I'm bored with both these guys. I think New Day will win. Hopefully this is early in the show. It's kind of my piss break. I don't want to see this. I wish WWE can announce they're going to start the show with this so I can get like an extra 20 minutes of sleep before I have to wake up to watch this damn show. But I got New Day winning. SmackDown Women's Championship. Becky Lynch defending her title against Charlotte Flair. So I think WWE is going to have Becky Lynch keep the belt. I don't know who's going to win here. I'm just going to say Becky retains. They could have Becky get herself disqualified. Would not surprise me whatsoever. They could have a count out, but I think Becky's going to keep the title. I don't see him going back to Charlotte right now. I think Charlotte's going to beat Becky soon. I think she'll probably beat her at Evolution, probably. Charlotte will be champion again, but I think Becky Lynch will keep the title past the show. I'd be shocked if Becky loses her title. They love putting the belt on Charlotte. They love giving her big moments and big shows, but it could be a Charlotte DQ win. I'm predicting Becky because I don't know how to really say, Charlotte wins, but to DQ, I think probably Becky will win, or to no contest. Becky's keeping the title here. It's a more safe bet. It'll be a heel win for sure, but I don't see Charlotte winning. I think Charlotte will probably get the title back at Evolution. I think that's when the fans will turn on her and she gets her big moment. But here, Becky keeps her belt. Next, you have the Dogs of War, Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre against The Shield. What would make most sense is for Braun Strowman to pin Roman Reigns, and that sets up their match at at the Crown Jewel at Brock in a triple threat. That'd make the most sense, but I think most likely The Shield wins. I think The Shield will get the victory. The fans will probably want The Shield to win. Even though they'll boo Roman, I think they get the victory. They'll probably pin Dolph Ziggler. I think for sure Ziggler's getting pinned. I think it'll be Ziggler or Ambrose is getting pinned, because those are the least of the three for sure. Reigns, Rollins, and Ambrose, they're going to tease something with Ambrose, and then they'll just win the match. I got The Shield winning. This will probably be the best match on the show, probably. That or AJ and Joe, but I think this for sure would be a strong match. A Shield as a unit. I mean, can you name me one bad Shield match as a six-man tag that they have? I mean, they always have great matches on pay-per-views. And it's Ziggler, it's McIntyre, and it's Strowman. I think all three of them are good in the ring, and it'll probably be a very good match. A lot of action here. I think The Shield gets the victory. I think Ziggler takes the pinfall. WWE Championship and no DQ, no count-out match. I got AJ beating Samoa Joe. I think he retains the title. I think this is it. He's set up for a tag match with Daniel Bryan against Joe and Miz at SmackDown 1000 in 2 weeks. I don't think that means much. I think AJ is going to keep the belt. I think AJ Styles is keeping the belt past January. It's to say fuck you to CM Punk, and I think that's what WWE wants. I think AJ Styles retains the title. So feud's bored me. Kind of happy it's over. I knew they'd flop, they'd ruin it, and they have. So AJ keeps his title, and AJ Styles is he beat Samoa Joe cleanly on the show. And this is the end of the feud, I think. The main event, The Undertaker with Kane in his corner against Triple H with the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, in his corner. So, this match is the last time ever. For about a month. Yeah, about a month. Last time ever for a month until you see them wrestle in a tag match. This is just like a giant preview for their match they're going to have at Crown Jewel, which I believe will be the return of Shawn Michaels. I think it's going to be the Brothers of Destruction against DX. So it'll be Triple H and Shawn taking on Undertaker and Kane in Crown Jewel. That's their main event for that big, giant Saudi Arabia show. Shawn Michaels will return. And in this match, he took a chokeslam for Undertaker on Raw. Kane will get involved, and then Shawn Michaels gets involved. Sweet chin music music to Undertaker, goes right into a pedigree, and Triple H beats The Undertaker. Triple H winning, he defeats The Undertaker in this match with help from Shawn. I think the finish of the spot will be a sweet chin music into a pedigree. Very low expectations for this match. Undertaker can barely move. Triple H doesn't look that good. He looks old. They've had 2 great WrestleMania matches, 3 really good ones, and I think this will be easily their worst major match. But I got Triple H winning, and this show will set up Crown Jewel.